This how-to is going over several things. We're going to be taking apart the Xbox 360, fixing the faulty thermal paste issue that causes the red ring of death, adding a Talismoon fan, Talismoon Flow, XCM fan, changing the hard disk drive case, changing the LEDs in the ring of light, and finishing off with a complete ghost case kit. So first thing we'll do is take off the hard disk drive, pushing here, and lifting up. Next, take off the faceplate, starting from the bottom. Next, remove the rubber stand here. Next, we'll be taking off the top grill. We're going to be inserting the Xbox 360 tool this way. Pop out the little tab. Doing it on this side. Mine comes off easily. Now you're going to turn it to the side, and you're going to find the space where the other tabs are at. Now you're going to turn it over and do it to that side. And it comes right off. Now we'll be doing it for the bottom part. Flip it over. Pops right out. Next, we'll be using the tool to pull the case apart from here and then on this side. So let's take care of this side first. You have to match up the holes with the teeth and just push down. And that's how easy it comes off. For this side, you can just do it this way. I find it easy enough just to do that. Next, we're going to be lifting up 4 tabs. And there you go. Next, we'll be taking out these 6 screws. First, I want you to take the eject button off. Set it aside. Pull the top off. For this, you just push up. So let's take out the DVD drive first. You should be careful. There are 2 wires you need to disconnect. You can put the DVD drive aside. Take off the flow. And we can unplug the fan now and take it out. So now we can take off this. Now we can take off the rest of the screws in the back. I'll do that for the rest of them. Okay, now that you got all the screws off, you can flip this on over and pull out the motherboard. So I'm going to assume that you take off the screws and the X clamps to the heat sinks yourself, and you pull off the heat sink to reveal the chips. I don't know if you can see them that well. What you need to do is clean those so we can add new thermal paste so we can avoid the red ring of death. Okay, once you have that heatsink cleaned, you can start putting on the new thermal paste. All you really have to do is make sure you cover the clear part of the chip. You could buy thermal paste anywhere, Radio Shack or online. Now that you have the thermal paste on, I want to take a moment to point out that I bought a kit that comes with 8 of these screws with plastic and metal washers, and it comes with 4 extra heat sinks for chips on the Xbox. So we're going to install that now. So what you want to do is put 4 screws for one of the heat sinks, and you want to put the washers and sit the heat sink, turn it over, and hand tighten these screws in an X. To do for one, you can do the same thing for the other. So go ahead and do that. So now that you've got those screws hand tightened, you can turn it over, and when you do, make sure you tighten it in an X. So now we can return the motherboard to its casing. Turn this over. Now replace the screws that you took off from earlier. Okay, now that we got the screws back in, turn this over. Now we can work on fans and the airflow. Let's start with Talismoon fan. So if you try to put it in, it won't snap in. So what I did was I actually bent these just a tad. If you bend it too much, then it won't be able to run the fan. It'll actually be putting so much pressure that it'll actually stop the fan. So let's do that. Let's snap that in. Now if you have the Talismoon flow, you actually have to have an adapter so you can connect both of these at once. And I spliced it myself. I suggest you don't do it unless you know what you're doing, like I did. Now we're gonna add the XCM fan, and as you can see, it doesn't work with this heatsink. You have to have the one that's just here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew the bottom part of it. So you can take off the bottom part now and take out the screws. Set that aside. So what I'm going to do is stick the fan here, and we need to find a way to keep it there. So what I'd do is use a piece of tape, or even if you could take off this sticky piece from the bottom and put it on the side. That's what I'm going to do. So now that you've got the sticker on the side, you can place it right in the middle. So I just want to take a second to mention this little block here comes with the XCM fan, and it's to help the airflow go this way. And to connect this fan, you have to connect it here, and this circuit is going to be drawing power from the DVD drive. And also we have the LEDs from the kit, which are going to go roughly here. We'll be placing them at the bottom, pointing inward, and at the top. But what I'm going to be doing is, since that one's going to be coming off the DVD's wires as well, I'm going to place it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the bottom, since it's the wire that's going to replace the one on the DVD, and I'm going to have this connected here. Now this has a sticker on the bottom, so you can pick a spot wherever you want to hold it down. I'm not sure where. If you even want to, I would probably put it somewhere off on the side just for now. And now we can move on to the DVD drive. So what you want to do is take off these 4 screws. Take off the other 3. Now that you got those screws off, pull this up, and you break the warranty sticker, so I suggest you not do it unless you're sure this is what you want. So we can set this aside for now. Concentrate on this. We need to get this out. We need to peel back this sticker. I had already done it before, so it'll be a little rough for you. Now I have the BenQ drive, so you're going to want to poke this side. I don't know if you can see it. You need to poke in there. Pull outward. This just turns counterclockwise. There you go. Pop it out. Make sure you keep the magnet. Okay, so what you want to do is put this together. And sit it in there. And clear it to the top. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And now you can add it to the DVD. And now that we have this free, we can add the new pieces you got in your kit. You just take this, put it down, you take this, and push it in place. There you go. So now that you have the DVD drive, you can put it in. Just make sure you connect this as well as this and you're ready. There you go. That's how it looks like with the DVD drive. Now we're going to move on to the ring of light. We're going to take this off, and as you can see, there are 4 LEDs. Well, technically 8, since there's 2 for each one of these. And you're going to desolder each one of these. Show you how to do one, and you can do the rest on your own. What I do is I put a bit of solder. Enough to touch one end to the other. It comes right off. Just make sure to take off this excess solder. And I do that for the rest of them. So now you've gotten all those LEDs off, I'm going to place this one right here. Now this is a red LED. It's 1206. And I'm going to leave the ability to get an error message. So now we have our error LED in. Now I'm going to put the color I want, which is blue. And I'm going to stand this one up. I'm going to place them right behind this LED. Alright, so I laid my red LED down and I stood my blue LED up. You could do the same for the rest with this in mind, that the positive is on the very right and the negative for the blue is in the middle and the negative for the red is on the outside. That's why I lay the red LEDs flat here and then I put the blue LED standing up pointing forward. So you could do that for the rest of them. Now that we have all the LEDs on, we can move on to the middle. That one, to take it off, is just as easy as the others, if not easier. You do the same method. Okay, so you got to remember the polarity for this is positive on the left and negative on the right. So let's put on a new LED that I had ready here. Alright. There you go. That's how you do your ring of light. Now we can put the board with the ring of light on, and you can tighten the 3 screws that go there. I'll do that for the other 2. Okay, now once you've tightened those screws, you can add the faceplate. Alright, now we can move on to putting on the clear cover. So, put this down. And I took off the button for this so I could put it back on after we're done screwing everything in. So, just make sure everything's in place. And now you can put the 6 screws that you took off from before. Okay, now that you've got those 6 screws in, you gotta remember to put in the button. Alright, now that that's in, you can put on the other side of the cover. Now this side, you get 4 tabs that you snap in. Make sure this goes on correctly so the tabs all are able to snap over. 3 and 4. Take turn it over and start closing this up. And now we can put the grills for the top. Once the grill for the top is on, you can put the grill for the bottom. Flip over. Should just snap right in. Now that you have that all, you can put on the face. There you go. So now we're going to change the hard disk drive cover. So first thing we want to do is start on this side, take off the sticker, take off these 4 screws. Do that for the other 3. Okay, so now that you've got those screws off, you can set them aside and pry this open on the back. Make sure you don't break the legs on the front. Push it up, and it opens up for you. Yeah, be careful because there's a spring. Now that you got these parts, you can set them aside. Now what you want to do is take off these 4 screws. And do that for the other 3. Now that you've got those screws off, you can put them with the rest of the stuff. And move this. Now you can take out the drive. What you want to do is you want to push outward and bend this. Now when you get far enough, you'll have to disconnect it. Once you do, you have your hard drive. Be careful not to touch the electronics with your hand. And you can set this aside. Now you have your drive, so we'll take the kit and the new shell we got. You're gonna take it off. Now, this one has LEDs on it. I don't know if you can see that. But I added all of them to it. So what you want to do is kind of the same thing. Try not to touch the electronics, just like I just did. Try to push it in. Should connect on its own. There you go. Try to pull this part out. It connects the LEDs to the power source. And then you can screw it back into place. Not too tight. So do that for the rest of them. Okay, so now you want to take the spring and these other parts from the kit, place them in where they go. Now you're going to connect this to this. Now you're going to close it up. You're doing the opposite of how you opened it. Okay, so turn this on over, and we are going to put the 4 screws back. Okay, so do that for the other 3. Now that you got those on, you finally put the little sticker. Belongs here. So now that you got your hard drive in its case, you can put it in by sliding in the back and pushing down on the front. It should fit in nice and snug. There you go. You've got your Xbox in the ghost case. And now we can see the fruit of our labor. That's the end for this how-to.